Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone, and our esteemed judges. Thank you so much for spending your time here. My name is Cheryl from Indonesia, and today I'll introduce to you FroggoForU, a diverse handmade clothing brand catering to Gen Z's trend cycle. So, sorry, my internet is stuck. I can't move the presentation. There you go. So as for our market research, we have done a survey of over 80 people in Indonesia's Gen Z community. So here's the result that we have received. So here's the numbers of the problem section. We have seen a very big problem in the Gen Z community where people are still constantly buying from irresponsible fashion brands. Brands that are constantly polluting the world and constantly harming the environment, as well as cheap labor. And we can see a large part of the Gen Z community that is constantly not aware of what slow fashion is and constantly contributing to fast fashion. And nearly 20% of these people also still believe that sustainable fashion has to be monotonous, a very harmful stigma that we aim to diminish. So we can see in the middle section of this presentation, the market size. We all know that the fashion industry is one of the biggest markets in the world because we all wear clothes. And like it or not, we have to be aware of what the clothes that we're wearing is impacting to the environment. So we can see the market size for Gen Z's fashion industry is a 78% total market, Gen Zs who shop for clothes online. And this is a constantly growing number as with the pandemic. People are forced to learn to know how to shop for clothes online because of the quarantine. People can't have many access to go out anymore. So it's the perfect timing for an online brand like FroggoForU to come in and fill the gap in the market. We can also see the buying behavior of Gen Zs is that Gen Z is one of the most frequent buyer in the fashion market. We also have a very big available market that is constantly growing as well. And we can see the forecast in the right section is that more and more Gen Zs are learning about slow fashion and beginning to switch to sustainable choices, which means that there is a very increasing trend in Gen Zs becoming more conscious of their fashion consumerism. Therefore, FroggoForU coming in this timing is very perfect to offer a solution for Gen Zs who are starting to educate themselves on the harm of fashion, therefore wanting a sustainable solution like FroggoForU. So moving on to our next slide, we have done a survey on the market pains and why Gen Zs are still hesitant to buy from online shopping brands like FroggoForU and the gain that they will receive from our brand. So first, the most majority answer is that they can't try on clothes to buy a best fit size, which is why FroggoForU offers a solution of an inclusive all size with a choice of made to measure. And second, they can't find clothes that they like or are their style, which is why we have diverse styles in each collection based on our customers' wants. And third, they don't trust online shops, which is why in FroggoForU, we uphold transparency and integrity through very responsible measures. So here's the slide about us. On the left, we can see 3 core values on how we aim to solve the problems that I have mentioned in the slide before. First is to incorporate Gen Z's trend cycle. By knowing what's currently up to date and what's up to season right now, we know what Gen Z want, and we know what's currently known as trendy, because every Gen Z nowadays want to follow trends. And so being able to make clothes that are trendy will not make us be deemed as monotonous. And second, we want to have a sustainable production. So we both work in sustainable methods, and we also use sustainable materials in our production. And third, we want to promote slow fashion to a growing range of Gen Z audience through our social media platform. And so in the middle, we can see 4 core points of our competitive advantage and why we're better than our competitors. So as a business, we don't want to give you empty promises. We want to show you the real evidence. So for this competitive advantage, we have asked our customers on why they prefer to choose us over other stores and Instagram. And these are their answers summed up to 4 points. First is our authenticity. All our products are uniquely designed with creativity and innovation, which means that even if we follow trends, all of our products are different and always with a creative fashion point of view. And second, our accessibility. We have a free-for-use Instagram platform, which is one of the biggest platforms for e-commerce for Gen Z. And we also offer various paying methods that is accessible because with the pandemic, everyone wants to shop online and no longer in malls because of the quarantine as well. And third is our very unique and distinct branding. With the frog animal, everyone remembers us by that. It's very unique and distinct. We also have an aesthetic digital art content in our Instagram page that is very easy to remember and also appeals to Gen Z because with the digital era, people are loving digital art. And fourth is our pricing. We have very affordable price range and we're always under market price because with my products being handmade, I save a lot of third-party costs, which is why all my products are able to stay between 100 to 300,000 rupiah price range under the market price and the average spending of Gen Zs in Indonesia. So on the right, we can see our brand's values. First is our eco-friendly packaging, and second, our product quality, and third, our self-designed and sewn products, our helpful customer service, and our interactive social media content, all of which forms FroggoForU as a brand that is on top of the market within other fashion brands. And this is an overview of FroggoForU now. On the top, we have an overview of my products that I have released in my past 3 collections in the past 4 months. And on the bottom left, we can see my progress in the past 4 months being in the market. So we can see my Instagram page, my traction, which all in 3 collections surpasses 1 million rupiah, a very high revenue for a small startup brand like FroggoForU. And we can also see a very exponential growth in my Instagram account, surpassing 1,800 followers in only 4 months of market. And over here, we can see our business model, which is business to consumer, and our net profit margin of 70%, and also 15% of those being donated. So we're able to become a profit-driven business, even though we are staying under market price because of, like I said before, everything is done in-house and sustainably, therefore we save a lot of third-party costs. And on the bottom, we also have some post-purchase testimonials from our customers, very long ones even, that shows a lot of love for our products. So this is FroggoForU later, or basically our vision for the future. So we have done a survey here on the top of how Gen Zs find out about online shops most. From these answers, we are able to learn how we can strategically market our brand. First is through Instagram Explore page and hashtag search and keyword search. That is an area that we already concurred. That is something that we have already been doing for the past 4 months that has been growing our account, because I thoroughly understand the Instagram algorithm and how to make sure my posts reach the Explore page to drive traffic into my account. But second, we can see what one of the biggest one is that Gen Zs are influenced by celebrities, TikTokers, YouTubers, and basically influencers as a whole, which is why we plan to send PR packages to Gen Z influencers with diverse styles. For example, these 2 influencers in the bottom, which have diverse target audiences, but still relevant to our target audience in FroggoForU. We also plan to join fashion events to further market our name and make our name more known in the Indonesian fashion market, and also collaborate with youth-driven NGOs, because not only are we donating to a good cause, we're also getting exposure from their Instagram account, therefore being a win-win solution. And in the future, we also plan to branch out to international market, because we have received a lot of interest from especially ASEAN markets, surprisingly, customers saying that they want our products on Depop, which is an international shopping platform, hence why we plan to branch out to there, as well as using PayPal international modem section. And here's about me and the founder and why I work well to run FroggoForU. First and foremost, I'm a Gen Z fashion enthusiast, so I exactly understand the community and I know about its trend cycle. I also know about past, present, and future trends through social media because I have been in the e-commerce of fashion for years now. And I also have a lot of social media management experience, so I understand the Instagram algorithm and exactly how to grow my business and advertise my own business through social media. So that is all for my presentation today. Thank you so much for listening, and that's all.
Thank you very much, Cheryl. That was fantastic. I particularly liked your market research. I always like it when you do your own surveys and information yourself. Ms. Patuari, it looks like you have a question.
Yes. Hi, Cheryl. I loved your idea. I love your concept. It's much needed as part of the conversation about fast fashion. So thank you for putting this together and a really detailed presentation. I actually have so many questions for you because I'm so passionate about this, but I know I have to limit them a little bit. I'm going to go straight to the most important one. You know, when you look at fast fashion, for example, Zara, the reason why they're able to, you know, maybe stay with the trends or so is because they're so fast at, you know, making it and then putting it up in stores, making it, putting it up in stores, which in itself is not a sustainable practice. So I'm curious to know, how do you combine staying up to date with the trends and sustainable production? And if you could also add to your answer, what do you mean by sustainable production? How are you making this sustainable?
Okay, thank you so much for the question. So first you asked how I can compete with fast fashion brands like Zara. Zara operates by mass production. However, with me, I operate by a handmade production. So I'm able to stay up to date because I'm constantly in the trend cycle. So I know exactly when to launch my collections in the perfect timing when a certain trend is currently booming in social media. For example, my latest collection, it's based on a fairy core aesthetic. It's very huge within social media and in TikTok and Instagram. And I launched it last month, exactly when it's at top of the trend. It's at its peak of trending, which is why I was able to drive a lot of audience towards my brand to buy those items exactly when it's trending. So I don't need a lot of time like Zara to market my brand because I put out collections on certain times. And I don't put a lot of clothes at once, which is why I'm able to stay up to date. I only make sure that it's exclusive, only exactly towards my market brand and certain styles as well. With Zara, they put out a lot of range of clothes at once, which is why they're able to attract a lot of different target audience. But with me, I make it very specific towards Gen Z only, which is why I'm able to stay up to date. And as for your second question on how I'm able to manage sustainable production, so first it comes from the sourcing of the fabric itself. I make sure that I make sure that all the materials that come into my fabric are sustainable and made in sustainable methods as well. So I've already answered this question in semifinals actually, that I went last month to like local crafters and local communities who sell fabrics. I went there myself to check out how they make the fabric and what materials go into the fabric. So I've done my sourcing and my networking, and I make sure that my fabric is sustainable first. And then when I bring it home, I make sure that I make it in a sustainable method by doing everything myself. So I do not participate in any mass production at all or in industrial production, which causes a lot of carbon footprint and is not a sustainable practice.
Thank you, Cheryl. More power to you, and I can't wait to see this exist.
Thank you. It already exists, actually. We have already a big market.
Absolutely fantastic. Judges, maybe if we can have one more question, but I actually have a few questions from the audience as well. So if you would like that to be, all right, let's go with that then. All right, fantastic. We have a question from Shankar Subramaniam, and I'd like to know this: how do you scale the brand if you're only focusing on smaller batches at this particular point in time?
I'm sorry, what was it?
How do you scale the brand if you're only focusing on smaller batches at this point in time?
Scaling the brand as in, I'm sorry,
become bigger, as in grow the brand, so go to different countries.
Yeah, so basically becoming an exclusive brand, it's not bad because we can still grow big. Even if I'm a solo founder, I'm still able to grow my business big because I have things such as pre-orders and made-by-order slots where I organize my customers to a certain slot. So even if my demand gets bigger in the future, I am able to limit it to a certain time so that I do not exceed my capacity. And to make sure that I still become big is that I limit the amount of sales, but becoming exclusive, it grows enthusiasm because not everyone can get their hands on my brand. So by being exclusive, more and more people are going to be excited to know what's inside my brand since I'm only open to a small scale of audience and not always big range. Therefore, it grows enthusiasm and grows interest towards what's in my product, and it creates my brand to become even bigger in the future once I market and once I start an own team of the production as well.
Fantastic. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you. I really appreciate your presentation today. We're going to get the poll up at the moment, and just while everyone's answering the poll, can you answer one more question for me? In terms of the main problem being that people are trying to struggle to find clothes that fit them, do you plan to use virtual reality for customers to try on their clothes digitally, or how are you going to adjust to that problem?
Actually, we use the made-to-measure system, which is so basically we're going to ask the customers for their measurements before they order. Since we're an exclusive brand, we clearly communicate with our customers first before they order, not like H&M when you just choose an item and you pick it, you check out, and that's done. We communicate with them, we ask for their measurements, we make sure that our measurements fit in with them, but if it doesn't, then we're gonna create a new pattern for them. And sometimes we add a certain cost when they want to customize their own sizings, and it becomes more accessible because they can also add different things that they want, such as bigger sizes or smaller sizes than the size that we already have. So it's very accessible and also open for any sizes.
Fantastic. Thank you, Cheryl. And just to let you know, what the poll has said is they were asked how thorough was the research for your business and idea, and everyone thinks that most people think that your research has been absolutely top notch. So really well done. Thank you for sharing that with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.